Fuck you, Will.
Blame the lag. Blame the lag.
I pretended to be
The lag is
frozen.
named Will.
Alright, so, happy
Dave,
holidays,
Dave,
everyone.
will you stop living in the past? Hanukkah's over.
Hanukkah is eternal. No, it's actually fucking over, and I'm so glad it is.
Happy belated Hanukkah to anyone who celebrates. Merry Christmas to anyone who celebrates. Happy Quanzaa to anyone who celebrates. What other holidays are this time of year?
So
There are like 12 people who celebrate Kwanzaa.
So I will say,
happy Kwanzaa to all 12 of them, Tino.
Okay. Happy Kwanzaa to all 12 of you.
Yeah.
So I will always defer to the Simpsons joke where it goes, and I want to wish all you kids a happy Hanukkah, a Merry Christmas, a crazy Kwanzaa, a tip-top tent, and a solemn and respectful Ramadan.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I don't think Ramadan is until
No,
April
it
this
doesn't.
year.
Ramadan is in like the summer, isn't it?
It's in April this year, I think.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
twice a year, and I think that was back in the 90s where it was landing closer to winter. But I just like the joke because it just cover all your fucking bases.
Yeah. So that's what that is, and you know, also, even though we're not there yet, you're probably gonna see this before, but happy early New Year, everyone.
Indeed.
Yay!
Oh yeah, we're really covering our bases here. All right, that's the holiday
All right,
special.
everybody, kiss your loved ones.
Yeah,
No.
2022 is going to be so much better.
You know what? That's actually why we're here.
I stopped believing in a better tomorrow after April of 2020.
Guys, that's actually why we're here. Because when we were talking about having the holiday special, Steve brought up what a grouchy, grinchy pants he is. So I think the holiday special should be all about bringing Steve the Christmas spirit.
He's the only one wearing a Santa hat, Will.
So does that mean
Listen,
we're
this
gonna
was
show
against
him?
my will. I didn't even want to wear it.
So does this mean we're
See?
gonna show him the Sonic the Hedgehog Christmas special?
No,
where,
what this-
spoiler alert, he becomes Santa.
No, what this means is that we're going to share holiday stories about things from this time of year that may or may not have happened to us in order to fill Steve with the spirit of the season. Because as we all know, the reason for the season is pleasing.
But I haven't been getting much pleasing.
Well, talk to your wife about that.
Wow.
I don't want to.
Wow, we're just at this place.
On this episode of the Game Room Marriage Counseling,
Really? We're going that far?
Sorry, we only got like 2 years left.
Oh, wow.
gosh.
Okay.
More than
Jeez.
Will's lifespan.
Is that
So
is that because you're going to die, Steve?
No, it's because 10 years is the max that I'm willing to give.
What the best part is that I do envision Steve actually just getting the divorce in 10 years just so they can get remarried and having an excuse to throw a party.
I just want to live in Japan, that's all.
that sounds like a lot of paperwork either way.
Steve would get divorced and he'd make a video and title it The Decade of Mediocrity.
Holy
The
shit.
decade of disappointment.
Wow.
Well then.
Flora, I'm sorry.
But you know what? I think we need to find Steve, why aren't you happy around the holiday season?
I don't know, man. It's just like the holidays are a lot of work. I mean, like ever since I became an adult, like when I turned 18 and like I had to not move out necessarily, but like I was away for a while for college and stuff, and there was a lot of planning when it came to the holidays. The semester would end and I would have to go home and then figure out the meeting the family and stuff, and I would have to drive certain places, and like it's just like I don't know. Like I'm just not very family oriented kind of person, I guess. That's all. It's not that I don't like my family, it's just like my family can be exhausting.
I know it's a lot of labor, honestly. I mean,
Yeah, I could see.
there's a thing I've come to realize is that when you're a kid and you're experiencing the holidays, there is a certain magic to them. you
Yeah,
see,
that's because you don't have to put the tree up.
and that's the thing. When you become an adult and it becomes your responsibility to help make the magic, and that's a fucking exhausting process that consumes time and money.
Putting the tree up is the easy part.
Not when your parents have 4 of them.
Yeah, and now that I'm like, now that I'm
That's a
married,
forest.
I don't have one family, I have 2, which is even harder, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I have to see 2 families every, like, holiday season, which is, you know, it's a lot of planning and driving and, you know, being like, hey, when are the kids coming? And I'm like, why don't you go fuck yourself? You know, like, it's...
Wow.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair.
My brother and my sister-in-law, God bless them, they freaking found a way to basically split up the time they spend with her side and with us. And it's always worth noting that they try to get her stuff out of the way what feels like first. And there's definitely a very much... my brother admits when he goes over there, he can't speak a word of the language they're talking because they're all talking to each other in Russian. And... it's just him.
For me.
Yeah, it's just him and like the husband of the husband of another cousin who just sit in the corner and like talk about soccer because they're the only guys speaking English at the place.
See, here's the thing: is that the reason why Steve gets angry when people ask when the children are coming is because Steve is basically Junta Momonari from DNA Squared, where he's the mega playboy and he knows he'll just impregnate every woman in the world and just have like 1 million kids.
What dark pit in what deepest depths did you pull that shit from? That is a name I have not heard in a decade plus.
Yup.
Fuck you, Will. I didn't need that memory back.
Yeah. All right.
Well,
So
clicked his mic.
Oh
my
yeah,
God.
he peaks his mic whenever he does his loud sounds. It's kind of hilarious.
I love it.
Yeah.
I have powerful lungs. So I think now, in order to get Steve in the holiday spirit, we should all take turns telling him holiday-themed stories that might brighten his mood.
Is this like the Ghost of Christmas Past?
Kinda, yeah.
A little bit.
Oh, crap. I didn't dress the part.
All right, Tino,
I'm the
you go first.
lumberjack of Christmas somewhere else.
Yes, Tino,
Damn.
you go first. Cut down Steve's barrier with your axe of holiday spirit.
Cut down Steve's Christmas tree of disappointment.
Yes.
Put up the Festivus pole. Put up the Festivus pole.
Well,
Yeah,
okay.
like you're the big religion guy in our group, you know?
Well,
Tell us about Christmas.
I kind of feel like I have to preface this by saying that I am recovering from having a job where almost every Christmas I worked. So that is no longer the case. Just the flip side is that now I have no money to buy gifts for my friends and family. But a little from column A, a little from column B. And yeah, for me, those times when I have been able to actually be there properly for Christmas have always been special to me. But there's kind of like Steve said, it is the religious element is inextricable from it because my dad is a pastor, which means that every Christmas Eve we would be in church, and we would kind of have this tradition that we would go through. There'd be a traditional Christmas Eve service. We would go through, and my dad would know that, yeah, there's you're going to have a lot of people who are in the service who are kind of like the Christmas and Easter crowd. They don't normally go to church.
The Chreasters.
The Chreasters, yes. And the Chreasters. It sounds like some weird kind of Monte Cristo sandwich or something.
We have
It sounds like an STD.
we
really.
have our own version of this, but I'll get to that when I get to my bit.
And Tino, once you're done, I just want to tell you something real quick about Chreasters because it led to a whole game plan in my family.
Oh no. Anyway, for that reason, my dad would design the service and the sermon to be accessible for people who don't normally go to church, so it would be a little bit more informal than you might normally expect. but we would always end with a candlelight segment where all the lights would shut off and everybody would have a candle and one flame would be passed to the next. And the sanctuary would start out all dark, but then by the end of it, the whole place is lit up with candlelight, and we end with Joy to the World. Usually you have the Hallelujah chorus in there somewhere. And I think it's because it's what I've grown up in that it's special to me. Because not only is it a time to be with family, it's also something to celebrate Christ's birth. And as a believer, that's deeply meaningful to me. Now, that being said, there are a couple of strange traditions that would kind of get there are some things that would happen over and over again that kind of surrounded that orbit of the church service. Back when we were at a larger church and had 3 Christmas Eve services because we needed that many in order to accommodate everyone who tried to come in, I would usually I should preface this by saying when I was in high school, I was the Wizard of Oz in the musical adaptation The Wiz. And I still had the wizard's green coat. So my mom had the bright idea one year to be like, hey, let's have a Christmas Eve thing for all the kids who are going to be there. So I did not have the option of saying no. I became the Toy King, a sort of greedy corporate type who's trying to outcompete Santa, who has no idea what the reason for the season is. But that would mean that, every season, every Christmas, I would end up getting dressed in this ridiculous costume that I didn't want to wear and would have to entertain a bunch of kids for a half hour. But in between 2 of those services, by the end of the second service, everybody who was kind of like on full duty for all the services was tired and exhausted. So a bunch of us would go to the Sheets that was like a mile away from our church, grab something and come back. And every so often we would try to give a tip to whatever poor soul had to work the counter that night, because we were like, hey, it's Christmas, this isn't right. And so that became a bit of a thing that I would do over and over again, because even though it didn't, going to Sheets on Christmas Eve kind of ended up becoming its own tradition, even though it doesn't actually mean anything. It's kind of weird how those things form.
Yeah, it's something that just develops over time because you do it so often.
Yeah. Now, that being said, as into Christmas as I am, I have had coworkers who go completely crazy as soon as Halloween is over. They will start listening to Christmas music, including one of the reporters that I used to work with. And we would have to drive together any place that we were doing a story, because I would carry the equipment and she would do all of the actual reporting. But it meant that for 3 months straight, I was listening to Christmas music, and by the end of it, I was like, oh my goodness, am I starting to get Christmas crazy like her? What's happening? But I have never seen somebody more excited in their life than when she saw a little bit of a flurry on Christmas Eve and she was like, it's snowing on Christmas! And I was like, I'm gonna crash this car deliberately. I'm gonna crash this car deliberately.
Going over the ravine, baby.
We did, Tino, let me just say one thing. I did manage to recover enough Christmas spirit for us to be, as we were driving past some guys who were working on a water main break that we reported on, we both looked at each other and were like, you know what? Let's get these guys some Christmas donuts. So that's a fun memory. But that helped me feel better and to make up for the fact that I don't mind Christmas music, but after a while it gets to be excessive. I felt like a retail worker. I was listening to so much Christmas music. I was like, make it stop, make it stop, make it stop, make it stop.
Oh, God, yeah.
It's so painful. I've had to deal with that when I was younger, for sure.
Oh, yeah, I have no doubt. Okay, I'm done.
Well, I did just want to say on that little bit, so basically you're saying, what you're telling me is that is that WHAMageddon was just a foregone conclusion for you.
I don't know what WHAMageddon is.
And
I get the feeling that I've just stepped in it.
You actually haven't. It's not as complicated as you think, but there are some hilarious rules about it. Vicky, do you want to take this one, or should I?
No, go ahead.
Okay, so you know how Wham, the band, has a song called All I Want for Christmas Is You?
Yes.
You mean WHAMu?
Yes, Wamu. Wamu! Wamu! Yes. But the deal is that you lose WHAMageddon the moment you are in a public space and you hear that song.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
yes.
the moment
WHAMageddon is a foregone conclusion. Yes.
Does the Mariah Carey version count?
So that's where this gets interesting. Covers don't count. It has to be the original. So I once thought that I was destroying when I was going to be like, ha ha ha, like one of my favorite internet musicians covered All I Want for Christmas Is You.
Mariah Carey?
No, Little V Mills. So here's the thing, you joke, but Little V Mills. And I posted this because I'll ruin it for everybody, only to be informed that covers don't count, and all I've done is just shown people good music.
Wait,
Yep.
can we stop? But Tino, listen. It's okay if you eat cake, but you gotta have enough for everybody.
I didn't even realize he was eating cake.
What type is that?
Go ahead, take it.
What flavor?
Go ahead, take it.
I want the cake.
Actually, no, wait, I just got it from
It's
my
not
doctor.
real. It's pixels on a screen.
All right, Portal.
Damn.
So-
He just said the cake is a lie.
So, who's next?
Well, hold on. Before that, Dave and I think, have follow-ups for Tino's thing. So, Tino, fun fact about Chreasters. So my family has always been very religious. And I still am.
I never would have known.
You know. Really? I'm not like, it's not like I talk about it a lot.
I know. but they go to church like a lot.
Yeah, well, every Saturday, basically.
Every Saturday, yeah. And
Yeah.
that's usually when I'm over. And
Yeah.
they're like, yeah, we're going to the church.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah, so I mean, it's my church has like a bunch of different times. Like,
Wait, they don't go on Sunday?
No. It's
What, they just like they don't like the crowds?
Well, they'll go Sunday if they have to, but they like going on Saturday so that they could sleep in on Sunday.
Man, that's some strategic religion right there.
I mean, they got like they got like a 4:30 in the afternoon mass on Saturday. So if they're not doing anything all day, it's like you go to church, then you could go out that night and then sleep into Sunday morning. It's great.
It's Byzantine Catholic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
So the difference is Catholic churches will usually have masses on Saturday nights, whereas most Protestant churches don't.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, the other thing is,
I'm aware of that.
Okay.
It's just funny that they're like, I don't want to get up early. Like, fuck that shit.
yeah, pretty much.
God's still there, right?
Yeah.
He can still listen.
Look, it's still
last time
the
I checked.
weekend.
It's like,
It's technically the evening of the Sabbath, so I mean.
For you guys, that's when it's ending. For us, but that's another
basically,
story. I'll get there.
But basically, so over the years, like growing up, we started to learn that, like, hey, like right after Thanksgiving, boy, the church sure does get crowded by people who start showing up this time of year. And for a completely unrelated reason, they must be handing out the collection plates more than normal.
Oh God, I have something for that too.
So
they don't do that every
Is the collection
time?
plate going around a third time? Or?
yeah, I didn't realize that we were going to be giving so many donations
Yeah,
to the church.
lay that appeal on thick, because this is the
Wait,
shot
this
you
one
gotta
has
shoot.
a built-in credit card reader.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Oh yeah, they
Wow.
really need to do like a flight attendant with like the fucking thing. It's like, how much do you want to tip?
The collection plate literally just has a thing that you
Enough
could
to get
like.
peanuts and a Coke.
Yeah.
The collection plate literally just has like a chip reader. You just stick your credit card in it.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway,
Don't.
I'm not exaggerating. There are some mega churches that actually used to have that, but now
I'm
they
not
just
surprised.
have an app.
Yeah,
Did
I'm
you
not.
say
I'm not
I'm
surprised.
sorry. Are we tossing a Bitcoin to our mega church?
Yeah, I think we are.
I want to use Ethereum.
Yeah. Oh, all right.
Ah.
That's That's a new hot crypto.
Toss a Dogecoin to your priest, oh Chreasters of this parish.
Can we move on from the podcast?
So anyway, so we noticed that like right after Thanksgiving, like the church started getting full, and we like to go. Growing up, we like to go to church on Christmas Eve because then you don't have to get up on Christmas morning and go. So you had the option. So we noticed that if you got there like, because we used to try to get there an hour before Mass started, and no, you wouldn't get a seat. So we started figuring out, and now like the service started at like 4 in the afternoon on Christmas Eve. So my parents would like and this started when I was like 10. They'd give me lunch, and I'd eat it at the house, and then they'd like give me my Game Boy and a fresh pack of batteries, and say, "All right, go save our seats." And they'd give me like they'd give me like 4 coats, and they would walk.
Bless you, Pokemon Blue.
Pretty much. I remember. So when I was 9, I walked.
I think you mean Pokemon Red and Green.
Ah, yes.
Well, when I was 9, I literally walked into my church with like 3 coats that weren't even mine and my Game Boy, and I got through Misty, Lieutenant Surge, and Lavender Town by the time that church started.
Holy shit!
And my parents...
So here's the impressive part. Did anyone come to join you?
So... No.
Aww.
You were alone in this venture.
Yeah, I was...
No. I mean, did anyone else try to snipe early seats?
A few people would.
That's what I was asking for.
Yeah. So, but I like the main character of every Pokemon game, me at the tender age of 10 was sent out into the world to catch them all, and by catch them all, I mean the row of seats that we needed. And I remember when I was 10, I got the wrong row of seats. So the next year, the weekend before Christmas Eve, my dad, like after church was over, he walked me to the row of seats that he wanted. He's like, all right.
You did a dry run.
Yeah, we did a dry run
for Christmas.
We did a dry run. Yeah, so we did that, and I was like, all right, I want these seats because this is how we're gonna enjoy the Mass. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, because the Holy Spirit doesn't work in the nosebleed seats.
It doesn't.
Yeah, like you're not getting into the kingdom if you're in the back.
It's like
Wi-Fi isn't happening.
It's like if you go to the movies, you want to get primo seats. Like Steve and I did when we watched Welcome to Raccoon City.
Dude, I got the best seats in the house, and they still didn't help.
Yeah.
Nothing would have helped you with that movie.
So,
yeah, I know.
So basically,
nothing save for hard drugs, and even that's debatable.
No, but here's where it gets fun. So we did a dry run, but the day of, when I was 11, I forgot which row he pointed to. I ended up getting 1-2 rows ahead of it, and we just happened to be. Now here's the thing: we happened to be behind this this guy who just had really bad body odor.
Oh no.
He was like a neckbeard in church, basically. And what was funny was that I thought I was going to get in trouble, but what happened was my parents, they didn't realize that I got the wrong row. So my mom on the way out was like, Ron, you're never picking the seats for church again.
Wow.
So here's Will confessing to this story. Hopefully his parents don't listen to this podcast.
Oh, no.
I mean... They have it in like 7 episodes. I think I'm fine until I'm like 40.
Yeah, you'll be all right.
God,
that is pretty funny though.
So next, I think, Dave, you have some like a Jewish version of the Chreasters. You said you wanted to.
All right,
okay,
Jewish time.
And then, well, hold on, wait, Dave, real quick. The Jewish version of the Chreasters, and then I want you to lead into the Hanukkah stories you have that might bring Steve into the holiday spirit. And also, I'll be
Jewish,
right back.
Even though some of Flora's family members have asked me if I was Jewish.
That's okay.
Yeah,
just let him think that.
I guess it's like the beard.
Haven't a bunch of random people over the years asked you if you were Jewish? Because I remember you saying this on one of the New York trips. Like, people kept asking if you were Jewish.
It's the beard.
It's Flora's uncle, who actually is Jewish, and he was wondering if I was one of his brethren or whatever the fuck.
Wow, that is a trip. Anyway.
All right, I'll be right back. I just need to get some water.
Okay.
Dave, feel free to start.
I was gonna say something, but I can't remember.
So,
Vicky, are you of the not believing in the guy in the sky, or
I'm confusing.
Confusing? What does that mean?
All right,
you're kind of into it, or
okay, I'm on the books as Buddhist, but
Buddhist?
actual yeah,
Okay.
I'm Mahayana Buddhist.
Okay.
Yeah, so I basically really my beliefs. I'm like, okay, I mean, there could be something happening up there. I don't fucking know. Like
So
it's really
basically
not my
agnostic.
place.
yeah, I was gonna say the word for that is agnostic, dear.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
is
no.
agnostic.
Yeah, I'm on the books as Buddhist, but yeah, technically I'm agnostic, yeah. So, basically, like, my belief system is, again, it's strange. I'm mostly just like, okay, if it happens, it happens. I don't give a fuck. I'm cool with everybody else, though. Everybody else do your thing, as long as you're all, like, decent to each other. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, I mean, here's a quick thing about me. So, growing up, I never went to church. I went to church a total of 3 times, and it was because my mom was trying to appease my aunt, who was religious, and was like being like, "All right, well, they can go if they like it. They can decide to go, and we'll support them or whatever." And we went, and it was like, this is terrible. I'm not doing this shit. But it's funny because my dad came from a very religious family, and like they went to church every Sunday and stuff, and then he moved out, and then he just never went again. Like never. So I guess he either hated it, but he was forced to go, or he was just like, I don't want to go every Sunday, or like I don't know. I've never asked him, and I'm not really interested. But I just thought it was kind of funny that the moment he turned 18 and moved out, he's like, I'm not doing that shit anymore.
Like, I'm out.
Yeah.
I had something sort of. Oh, sorry, honey. You were gonna say something, or
No. Go ahead. Continue on.
so I had something.
I'll wait till Will comes back to tell my stories.
Okay, man, Will's gonna regret missing the fucked up shit I'm about to say. So, like, my dad is extreme Irish, was at the time extreme Irish Catholic. He became Buddhist when I was like 13.
Mhm.
But yeah, anyway.
So how extremely Irish is he?
Tino,
if
you're
there's a
gonna.
stereotype, he has it.
Yeah, Tino, that's a loaded question.
About as
Wait,
loaded as my pa.
what was the question?
I was making a stupid joke. I
I
know
said-
the.
I know, but I didn't hear you. What did you say?
I said how extremely Irish is he, rather than how
Oh.
extremely Catholic is he.
He has
Oh,
like
yeah.
a bunch of X's in front of the extreme for the Irish.
You mean like Guinness at 8 a.m. kind of Irish, or
He fell off a mountain and survived.
yeah? So Guinness at 8 a.m. I got
Yeah,
it.
no, like
He drank a vodka and a Red Bull before he went to work. I witnessed it happen. He works at a library. He's been
Oh.
doing this since before I was born.
What do they call that? A car bomb? Is that what they call it?
I think they call it
No.
suffering.
Well, yeah, I mean like the official name.
no, a car bomb's something else.
But
What is a car bomb then?
Oh, car bomb is you take a shot. If you drop a shot of whiskey into a pint of Guinness.
Okay.
But,
Also, you never ask for it in Ireland because they will basically tell you to go kill yourself.
but
well,
yeah.
I mean that makes sense because
Because
you're like,
they're being literal with the car bombs.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that's
IRA.
that- ooh, okay.
Because
then.
Oh,
The
great!
story-
I
the
came
best-
back just in time to be canceled by having my face in the segment.
so the story I always heard about that was some guy went to a bar in Dublin and ordered an Irish car bomb because he thought he was being funny, and the bartender just looks at him for a hot second, pulls out 2 tall shooter glasses, puts them down, loads them both full of vodka, lights them a flame, goes, "Sorry, we're all out of car bombs, but here's some Twin Towers for you."
Ooh.
Wow.
But yeah, no, my extremely Irish Catholic dad, he went to church regularly back when he still did that thing. Dated a flautist in the music thing that I can't remember the name of right now. Shit.
Orchestra.
That's the thing. Dated the flautist in the orchestra. They live together in New Jersey,
Your
Cherry
boyfriend's
Hill.
in an orchestra.
Listen, I have exactly half of a brain cell, and it's doing its best. I'm so tired.
Did he date her because of how she used her mouth?
I wonder. Anyway, no. Like, she was chill. Anyway, so yeah.
There's a flute blowing it.
He kept bringing me to church, and I just wasn't getting it. I kept getting into fist fights behind the church. But,
Was this church in a suburb in Delaware?
no.
Newcastle for sure. Jesus. That sounds like a Newcastle.
Fuck you. First things first, no, it was in fucking Westmont. Second thing second.
Westmont?
Yeah, it was in Westmont. Anyway, so, like, I really wasn't, apparently, it wasn't sticking. I wasn't getting the whole religion thing. I was probably just not smart enough for it. I'm just like, okay, so why is God mad all the time? And he's just like, I'm not even gonna try anymore. But nothing really tops the time that I ruined the Christmas hayride.
Oh, no.
Christmas.
Okay, first of all, Christmas is in December. You should not be having hay rides in December.
Tell that to Cherry Hill or Haddonfield or Haddonfield. Tell that to Haddonfield.
This would be
Haddonfield.
something that would happen in fucking Haddonfield. Okay.
It had to be Haddonfield.
Yeah, it was Haddonfield.
That makes sense now.
So I was minding my own business at like age 7. My dad's just like, hey, little buddy, you want to go on the Christmas hayride so that these people can deal with you instead of me for like 10 minutes? I'm like, yeah, I guess. And so I get on the Christmas hayride with all these other joyful, cherubic-looking children, and I'm like...
Drunks.
Hey, if you call a child cherubic, that means that they've got eyes all over their body and they have 4 heads and 6 wings
Haddonfield.
and weird. Yeah.
It's
That sounds
Jersey
like
children.
Haddonfield to me.
Hey, Tino, be not afraid.
Of the Haddonfield children. So, I'm on this hayride, and the teacher lady, she's like, okay, everyone, who wants to sing some Christmas music? And I'm like, and it's like, Vicky, okay, yeah, go ahead. We had to introduce ourselves. I think we wore name tags. Anyway, it's just like, I'm like, okay, cool, I know one. Jingle bells, Batman smells, Robin laid an egg. And I, dead ass, at age 7, thought this is how the song went.
You'd never heard the real version. That's amazing.
I was not a Christmas child. She shut me down immediately, and she's like, hey, hey, okay, stop. You need to stop. She's like, okay, well, now nobody's singing, Vicky. And I'm like, yo, what'd I do? And it's just like, what do you mean, what did you do? That is not how the song goes, and that's very inappropriate. Okay, everybody sit in silence for the rest of the ride. And all the kids looked mad, and I'm like, yo, what'd I do? What the hell I do?
Wow.
Damn, you ruined Christmas for all those
It wasn't your fault. You didn't know.
No.
So
Steve is just convinced that these children were intoxicated during that.
So I've never ruined Christmas that hard because, well, I haven't had many opportunities due to, well, obvious fucking reasons. But
What's the
my brother,
reason,
You
Dave?
probably ruined Hanukkah a few times, though.
I'll get to that. My brother, however, has ruined Christmas just as hard.
Yes.
And Vicky knows what I'm talking about. My brother is like, what, in first grade, maybe younger, maybe he's 4, and a kid and somebody's parent comes to class dressed as Santa Claus to entertain them.
Oh no.
Now, here's the thing. I'm Jewish. My family is Jewish. My parents raised me and my brother very Jewish. They were very honest with us about the fact that Christmas isn't our holiday. Our holiday is Hanukkah. And Santa Claus is what people who celebrate Christmas tell their kids. So, and it's just a fun thing for them, and Santa isn't real. And they were forthright with us about that.
Yeah, it's a very capitalist, a consumerist kind of holiday. I feel like that thing would be up your alley, though, right?
Oh, fuck you, man. I'll get to We're gonna talk about what the true meaning of Hanukkah is, and I'm gonna blow it right up your fucking ass. And we'll get right there in a minute.
All right, stay tuned for the fight before Christmas right here on the Game Room
The
Podcast.
brawl before Christmas.
I'm gonna Mac a beat your skull in.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, featuring Hair Steve.
Oh.
Really? All right, Gary.
Oh shit. Yeah, no, it's going on at Christmas Mania this fucking year. Anyway,
Are we gonna start saying names that are equivalent to World War demonetization?
Why is it all?
No.
Why has this been since I've been
me
on
and Dave
here?
are separated
Why?
by. Me and Dave are separated by Central Jersey, and that's not even a real place. So.
Oh fuck
Which
you!
means
you're
it's
not
real.
separated then.
oh, he's right. By the quantum property, I should show up behind you.
Yeah,
Cut.
pretty much.
Wait.
Yeah.
If New
God, we
Jersey's
should-
wave function collapses, you're gonna suddenly find each other in the same room.
Yeah,
but we'll get to that.
Let's pray to
So-
God that doesn't happen.
Yeah, for a number of reasons. So continuing on with my story. So Santa Claus shows up in my brother's classroom, and my brother is terrified. Because, holy fuck, this thing that was not real is now here. Oh God, what do I do? He goes to hide in the closet. Santa Claus sees a child scared of a new person and decides to approach my brother and goes, "Ho, ho, ho, little boy, what are you so afraid of? It's Christmas." And my brother, innocent as can be at his age, emerges from the closet, looks up, tears in his eyes, and shouts out for the entire class to hear, "Mommy and Daddy said you aren't real!" which led to my parents getting a number of angry ass phone calls.
I love that
Damn.
story every time.
Man, that's painful.
You know,
So
Oh.
Poor guy.
yeah, so
Yeah,
I
poor
would like
guy
to
in the
point
Santa
out
suit. He really went through hell that day.
I would not give to be on a fly on the wall and see how he tried to disarm that situation.
I think you're just upset that you don't have your own mascot for Hanukkah.
Yeah, we don't need one, because that's where I'm about to get to the point of this, which is, so yeah, I'm Jewish. Happy Hanukkah. It's fucking over this year, because it came very early. I'd like to point out there was a little blessed moment where Thanksgiving ends and before Christmas can get truly ramped up this year. Like, Hanukkah crap was everywhere where I was. It was just kind of a little bit cool.
yeah, it didn't
But-
have to
Hanukkah
compete
started
with
in like
Christmas.
March this year. Like it was like super early.
Oh, yeah, no, because it's on a lunar calendar, it happens occasionally. It's
Yeah,
fucking crazy.
Those 8 nights were really long for some reason.
Yeah.
I know. Jeez.
Like it was kind of nuts because it was close enough to Thanksgiving where it triggered the weird Thanksgiving Hanukkah recipes, like challah stuffed French toast,
Turkey leftovers and
challah,
latkes?
challah stuffed turkey and sweet potato latkes are the ones that come to mind.
So
That
Dave,
actually sounds really good.
Dave,
It does sound good.
Dave, do Thanksgiving Hanukkah recipes include things like the turkey, mashed potatoes? we
I'm ending
are
this
celebrating
podcast right now.
Hanukkah.
Hey, you want to hear about that one
Steve,
time I ruined Thanksgiving?
Steve, if you want to declare a truce, I will give you good money to go shoot Will in the head. Anyway.
He's in Jersey.
Not gonna do that.
So with that in mind,
Look, hang on, Dave. Steve living in Jersey and being on a podcast where you just say that could cause him to lose his weapons.
Listen, I only get 10 bullets in my magazine. Will has a lot more.
Yeah, I have at least 17 in the one.
Yeah.
so
Speaking of guns, before we proceed, and I think I told Tino this, if I may interrupt, is that cool?
Yeah.
Sure.
Are,
So-
are you getting a gun for Christmas?
I already have a gun, and that's kind of where this goes.
Ooh.
So,
Wait, does Dave still not have a gun?
not yet. There's actually a thing I'm
Vicky
waiting
has
on.
one before you do?
Yeah, I'm waiting on a thing. Vicky, explain. Go ahead.
It like 4:44 a.m. this morning, and I had to go to a doctor's appointment before work. I was very tired. I had this dream that a friend of mine shot somebody, and then that person shot her back, and I had to run. I woke up to the sound of a lot of clanking metal and like stomping, and I'm like, I'm in the hood. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, no, anyway, I'm in the hood, and I'm like, did somebody break into my shit? So I'm like, So I just kind of roll over, look at the gun case, take the gun out. I don't load the magazine all the way in. I'm like, okay, here we go. I go out after turning on the lights out there with my Google application, and I'm like, I just kind of do a quick examine of the place. I'm like, okay, well, I didn't load it all the way in so I wouldn't have an accident while I'm half asleep. I put the gun away and I go the fuck back to sleep 5 minutes later.
Dude, that's such a 2021 story. You were like, hey, Siri, turn on the lights. Because I'm about to shoot an intruder.
I mean, you still would have had to pull the slide back in order to load a bullet into the chamber, but okay.
No, I was asleep. I'm like, look, if this turns out to be just my neighbors, as it turns out it was my downstairs neighbors doing laundry and stomping rounds loudly for no fucking reason at 4:44 in the morning. Like, it's just like...
Oh, yeah, like they always do. Like they did when we were trying to record dialogue for you.
Oh, it was worse. Oh, it was worse.
Oh, no.
It was worse.
Now, if this
Glad we're getting out of there, babe.
Now, if this ended badly, this would have been a situation where, at the trial, the prosecutor would have introduced Exhibit B, which would have been the clip from Always Sunny in Philadelphia where Frank just goes, and anyway, I started blasting.
It just sounds like you were about to shoot someone wearing chainmail, because you were like, you were making a lot
if
of metal
somebody was
noises.
just like, parry this motherfucker, and I'd be like, pop. A Glock will make it
Vicky
through
almost
there.
reenacted that scene from the Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Where's your
Yes.
plate mail now, huh?
Yeah, got it.
Oh God. So to continue on with my story there. So the big crux about Hanukkah and the holidays is that, tell me, Tino and Will, Christmas is kind of super important, right?
I would say
mean-
so, yes.
I suppose.
As Catholic and as Christians, as Catholics, as whatever, Christmas is a big freaking deal.
Yeah, it's the the cross guys,
Yeah, you
birthday
can't get
stuff,
to Easter
you know?
without going through Christmas first.
Yeah, Christmas
Yeah.
is kind of
Yeah.
the gatekeeper to, like, the big killing holiday.
It was
Yeah.
the prerequisite research
Indeed.
on the tech tree of salvation.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So, Hanukkah's not. And that's where this gets interesting. Hanukkah's not an important holiday. I mentioned that we have the Jewish version of Chreasters. They're the people who only show up for what we call the high holy days, aka the two big ones on the Jewish calendar, which are Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. If there is a Christmas equivalent in terms of importance, Christmas is to Rosh Hashanah as Yom Kippur is to as Easter is to Yom Kippur.
Yes.
Mhm.
Hanukkah. God, where do you even put Hanukkah? Is
Nothing
the feast
like
of-
a little bit of rebellion, huh?
Well, I'm
is that why
getting-
you guys don't have like commercials for Hanukkah?
Well, yeah. Aside from that, yeah, no. That's the thing.
So is
it's
that
not
why-
really important at
So-
all.
so is that-
I'm trying to think of equivalent. How big is All Saints Day?
I mean,
I like it, but it always gets overshadowed by Halloween. I think
It's
maybe I can make
Halloween!
people, I think if I can probably make people notice if I, instead of trick-or-treating, I just nail Martin Luther's 95 Theses onto people's doors. But, you know.
Okay, yeah, it's around that. That's
Yeah.
the level of importance that Hanukkah occupies.
So-
why is Hanukkah such a big deal in America? Well, Jewish kids felt left out around the holiday time, and so they came up with the tradition of giving gifts, which is not really part of the religious canon of Hanukkah. Hanukkah's really
So it was a jealousy thing.
yeah.
a little bit actually, and not less of a jealousy and more of a God. I feel bad that little Jacob ain't getting something when little Timmy is. So here,
Oh, it was guilt by the parents.
a little. It was guilt of the parents. My family took advantage of the fact that I liked video games to give me a console on Hanukkah and then accessories and games for the subsequent nights. But
That's good.
Hell
I mean,
yeah.
that's a good
Yeah.
way of doing
Yeah.
it.
but the deal is that as time has gone on, most of the gift giving tradition tends to just land on either the first or the last day, or you get like one big thing for the whole holiday, and the rest of the holiday is just the celebration of itself. Because as time has gone on and people have been like, what are those Jews up to? more about what Hanukkah is has entered the pop culture consciousness, which is why I get to tell you guys about the fun fact of the miracle of Hanukkah. You know that story of the oil lasting 8 days?
Yeah.
So that is the quote-unquote miracle of Hanukkah. It's the one we told to all you guys so that you didn't side-eye us when the actual miracle would be discussed.
Now, hold on. Wait a minute. Now, I have it on good authority that the actual miracle of Hanukkah was the oil. I know I watched the Rugrats holiday special when I was a child.
Yeah.
And if the Rugrats holiday special is not authoritative, nothing is.
Well, that's the thing.
Rugrats was super inclusive.
Yeah, it really was.
Well, Rugrats is the only show.
That's how I learned about Jewish people when I was 4 years old.
Rugrats is the only cartoon that had a Passover special.
Yeah, which is the greatest thing.
Yeah, no, it was kind of nuts.
I thought it was cool.
Funny thing, because that was all from the Book of Exodus, which I already knew about. It didn't even occur to me that they were Jewish.
We'll get to that in a minute, because that's another thing I want to discuss on that. But do you remember that scene where Tommy is holding a sword and a shield, and he's leading the people in rebellion?
Yeah.
And they kind of successfully overthrow their occupying power and banish them from the land?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Hanukkah's about. It's badass. I love it.
Yeah, so the deal is that the Maccabees were psychotic zealots. We appreciate, and they needed to be.
Oh, sorry, did I say that out loud?
And they needed to be because
and now we're all on a watch list.
Yeah. And and they needed to be because the Hellenistic Greek army that was occupying Jerusalem at the time had just outlawed the study of Torah and was effectively trying to outlaw Judaism. And so they decided to rise up, kill the fucking king, and banish his ass from the land. And banish the remaining people. Oh, he did. The oil part comes from the rededication of the temple. And basically rededicating the holy site back to God, rather than its desecrated state of being used to worship Greek gods.
Yeah, didn't they have to like cleanse the temple because like a pig had been sacrificed on the altar or something, and like a statue of Zeus had been erected?
Yeah, a whole ritual repurification. And so the thing is, when I say Hanukkah is a minor holiday, it commemorates a political event. It commemorates something specific. It is not. Yom Kippur and Rosh Hashanah are the Day of Atonement and the Jewish New Year. The hyper important Jewish holidays are less likely to commemorate an event and more to mark a concept.
It sounds almost like a kind of a Jewish 4th of July. Like,
That's
hey, we
exactly
successfully fought against our oppressors.
So that's the thing, is there's so many of those because there's an entire category of Jewish holidays that do follow that trope of they tried to kill us, we won, let's eat. And Hanukkah is one of those. Specifically, you need to eat greasy ass food. So that's why you have jelly donuts or sufganiyot, as my sister-in-law will yell at me to call them, and latkes. You play the dreidel because of stories about how they would play these games in order to study Torah surreptitiously under the eyes of the occupiers. And so Hanukkah is, this kind of, Tino's right, this badass holiday, but it's also, when compared to the canon of other things that are being commemorated, other holidays that even when they concern historical events actually contain acts of God in their stories, like the Exodus and Passover. Hanukkah is very, very minor, which is kind of ironic that it's blown up the way it has in America, because it is mostly commercial forces that have done that.
Well, do you think that's
or the Rugrats?
Do you think that's not necessarily the work of Jewish people, but more of other people that feel bad for people being left out?
I think it's the work of people who saw a marketing opportunity and took it.
Well, no, that's the thing. It was also the work of Jewish people because it was started with Jewish people feeling left out and deciding to do their own thing. Mm-hmm. And then Tino's right. Marketing people was like, hey, that's a market forming. Let's hop on that. And they did. And now Hanukkah is a very proud American tradition, American Jewish tradition.
As is eating Chinese food on Christmas Day.
Yeah, that's a different thing. That's literally the movie and Chinese food has the simplest explanation in the world. They're the two things that are still open.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dave,
no, I get that.
Dave.
But-
so
Also
what,
the news.
So Dave, what meal are you gonna get from your local Chinese restaurant before you go watch the abomination that is Welcome to Raccoon City on December 25th?
Well, first off, I'm more likely to watch West Side Story because I'm actually going to be spending Christmas with my girlfriend.
Oh.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You're gonna help Steven Spielberg try to recover part of his like $58 million budget he spent on this movie.
West Side Story sounds really good though. I do still want to see that. I'm seeing Spider-Man on Monday.
Ooh.
Oh no, it's West Side Story. It's going to be good because it's freaking West Side Story. Rest in peace, Steven Sondheim.
Yeah, I do want to see it. I'm not sure when I'll see West Side Story, but I will.
Yeah,
eventually.
but yeah, no, musicals just don't sell in the modern age. Also, I'd love to see streaming numbers on West Side Story.
Is it on HBO Max?
I don't know actually. Maybe that's why it's not making its bank back.
Hey, Dave,
Yeah.
let me ask you this, Dave. To what extent now? Obviously, on Christmas Day, Jewish people will get Chinese and go to the movies. To what extent last year, when the pandemic hit, did that
Abate?
Yeah, and will that carry over this year? Like, will Jewish
So
people,
I
in
have
your
a
opinion?
DoorDash
I
is
have a-
streaming?
It's not on HBO Max. By the way.
All right, so
I
I guess just to
have-
frame it, will Jewish people return to the movie theaters this year, or will they prefer to do like streaming services with their family?
So I'll tell you this, the movie theater return is dependent on the movie and dependent on the Jew. I enjoyed fucking streaming it instead. Going to the movies on Christmas was always a nightmare. Because everyone would be fucking there.
Yeah, I've never been to the movies on Christmas Day. We
would run into our entire congregation and then the 3 congregations around the area. If you're a Jew and you're living in an area where there are not that many Jews around, yeah, it's going to be like, haha, no one's here, get the theater to ourselves. Every time I've gone on Christmas, living in New Jersey, which has one of the largest Jewish populations in the United States.
Not just New Jersey, northern New Jersey.
Yeah. Fully loaded out. Getting seats was a nightmare. And my mom and my parents would always like to see some more refined, like nicer movie than a lot of popcorn fare. And so we'd have to drive out to theaters like out in the middle of fucking, like we'd go miles to find a place, and getting tickets was a pain in the ass.
Oh yeah, that's not like what my
so
mother would do.
So the theaters, you know what? Take it or leave it.
So you're not even seeing something along the lines of like, I guess, and I'm just throwing this out as you're not seeing like the new Star Wars movie. You're seeing like
we did 1 year, but that was only because my sister-in-law had never seen a Star Wars movie before.
Yeah, so instead you're basically seeing like,
if everything was normal, we'd be seeing West Side Story.
All right, yeah, I was gonna say like you're seeing stuff like the tragedy of La France and the sad Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, actually, yes. Listen, some of those movies were fucking amazing, and I'm glad I saw them. Other times we left the theater and we went, well, that was a waste of goddamn time.
Why did we go to see Meshes of the Afternoon again?
Well, no, that was because film school.
Let's just all
Vicky,
sit
I'm
down
sorry, I
and
get the
watch.
reference. Okay, that's good.
Let's just all sit down and watch The Room by Tommy Wiseau.
No.
Let's not do
so-
any of that.
I
So
don't
anyway,
want Christmas
to
to be ruined in that manner.
To your second question,
Yes.
so I know what you're referring to. A lot of people stopped going to Chinese restaurants in the early wake of COVID because, well, there was an association with the virus.
So actually, I wasn't even thinking of that. I was just wondering to what extent, because I wasn't even making that connection. I was thinking like, based on the pandemic, was it something where instead of going out and getting Chinese food and seeing a movie, Jewish families now just make something at home and stream a movie or something like, you know what I mean?
Well, streaming the movie is part of it, but a lot in the wake of COVID, because a lot of restaurants were hurting, people stepped up their takeout game.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I kind of assumed that the takeout thing was what was
last year for Christmas, I spent an hour waiting for a Chinese order because they were so backlogged.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah, no, like, so their dining room was shut down, and it's open again. So here's the thing, their dining room's open again. I've been back to that place since, and in the summer, there people were still, like, their takeout log was backed up, like, by an hour and a half. It was nuts. Like, they make bank on that on Christmas, and they still do, in part thanks to the Jewish community. But honestly, what all COVID did was, because they shut down their dining room and made Chinese food just harder to get. But damn it, we fucking stayed and got it.
Well, that was the one thing I remember from, like, the pandemic starting, was that there were a few local Chinese places near us, and, like, the neighbors, like, we all have been going there forever. So we made sure to order from them just so that, like, they wouldn't feel neglected or, like, hated or anything. And that way they knew, like, hey, we've been going to you for years. We understand. Like, look, your local Chinese restaurant is probably run by, like, a family that came over here and has been, like, running it for, like, 25 years at least. They're not the ones responsible for, like, the global pandemic. You know, I would blame, like, politicians or whatever, but I'm not going to blame the person who always makes sure that, like, because I'm a regular, that he always gives me a free egg roll extra, you know? Like, I'm not going to blame him. Like, that's a little ridiculous.
So, fun story. We had a lot of friendly chats with the owners of the Chinese restaurant we used to frequent back by my folks' place. And we still travel back there, even though we've all moved away. But the thing he told us is that the first year he opened that restaurant, he made the horrible mistake of closing on Christmas.
Ah.
And he says, I missed out on so much money. I regret doing that. I think they close the day after Christmas now.
Yeah, makes sense.
It's a better gift to himself.
My only complaints about Chinese restaurants in New Jersey, and this might be just a whole North New Jersey thing, and my Philadelphians, you can hopefully understand where I'm coming from. They ain't got pizza rolls. They don't have pizza rolls.
Flora's parents' place has pizza rolls.
Bless them. They're amazing people. Oh my god. Because,
dude,
great. I walked to North New Jersey. They don't have any fucking pizza rolls. And I'm like, oh my god.
It is a failing. It is a failing.
You know what's great, though? Cheesesteak rolls. Ooh.
Oh, I can't have those. I wish I could, but I can't.
Oh, those are so good.
Dave, I did want to say something to what you said earlier about Josh accidentally ruining Christmas for a bunch of children. If it makes you feel any better, I was that kid who in elementary school was trying to prove to everybody else that Santa didn't exist. I didn't have friends until middle school.
God.
And that's because my parents were also forthright with me. They were like, yeah, Santa Claus isn't real. There is a guy named Saint Nicholas, but he has nothing to do with that fat guy in the red suit.
Hey, Tino.
What?
500 traumatized children later.
You meanie.
Oh my.
Speaking of traumatized children, there was one year in high school when I thought, you know what? I just want to see how people react. It was the last day before Christmas break. I came to school dressed as Santa. Just to see how people would react.
I have to imagine there was that one dude who just looked at you and just mouthed the word hypocrite and then turned away in shame.
No, I don't think anybody else, I don't think it'd be remembered from me trying to disprove Santa in elementary school. But my sister wanted to murder me because she was like, I'm not related to him. I'm not related to him. I'm not related to him.
And then the one guy, just like Dave said, is just like, there goes my hero. Watch him as it goes.
So,
an inordinate number of people were sitting on my lap that day, though.
Really?
Oh my.
Really, Vicky? We're going Foo Fighters in this podcast? Goddamn song lyrics. We're trying to figure out the songs that didn't make it into the Spider-Man 2 soundtrack.
Oh, man.
So I will.
Oh, my mic, shit.
I do have an interesting thing for you. Is that there's an article a couple years back. This area of New Jersey and New York especially have a large Orthodox Jewish population. You know, the black-hatted, the people wearing the black hats with the payas and whatnot.
Yeah.
And
there was
the long facial hair and stuff.
Yeah, well, because of that, one of them, who's going gray one year, got recruited to become a Santa Claus. And he's been doing it for like 4 decades.
Wow.
Yeah, which is weird because he has to like do a bunch of things. I don't know if he disguises the payas or not. But it's
Santa with Jerry curls. Interesting.
It's a job.
Santa. Well, that's the thing. It's it's like his seasonal winter job, and he enjoys doing it. But it's like Santa with a kittle, which is the little, like smock they wear with the tassels coming off of it that they wear under their clothes. But I've often wondered
this whole time Santa was Jewish. Who knows? Who knew?
I've often thought about it because I am a large man, and I have a beard that I could dye white, or I could wear a falsie over it.
Yeah, you could do it.
Ho ho ho!
He sounds like it.
Ho ho ho! Chag Sameach. Anyway,
you should just tell the kids who come to sit on your lap, like, did you know Jesus was a Jew?
I like how Tino just melted.
He's gone.
Tino just.
Bye, Tino.
Poor guy.
Sorry.
But I will say this.
I had this horrible nightmare where Dave was Santa.
Oh, Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas! And Happy Hanukkah! Oh, that's my favorite Hanukkah joke, by the way, is the idea that Santa lands on Jewish houses to get a break.
Yeah.
And there's this very cute cartoon that I keep seeing reoccur, and I wish I could find it again. But it's like Santa's climbed down a chimney and he comes across a Jewish family celebrating Hanukkah.
Oh, they invite him in.
And he says, "Oh dear, I'm sorry, the wrong house." And the father's like, "Nonsense, God, come on in. You look like you're freezing your tuchus off. The latkes will be done in a minute. Take a break, why don't you?"
Yep. I know the cartoon you're talking
if somebody
about.
offers me latkes, I'm not going to say no.
They are tasty, and that's the thing. My family does have Hanukkah traditions, and that's become a time to gather people together.
Yep.
The latke lunch is freaking sacred to us because it's a time for us to gather. It was kind of important this year because it gave us all a chance to once again fawn over my nephew.
Yeah.
And boy howdy, I'm going to love the look on his face in like 5 years when little Aaron opens up his first gaming console of some form, and his response from his mother-in-law is going to be, "You rat bastard, I will kill you for this."
Here you go, Ron. Here's a PlayStation 5.
I am looking forward to doing the same thing in about the same time frame.
Hey, come on, buddy. Here's a PlayStation 5 for you. They're finally back in stock.
Yeah. She's right about the timeline.
Or you can at least give him some Attack on Titan mobility gear, you know?
This
is what you could've been.
A 5-year-old will really fly in those things.
Yeah, I had to. I'm sorry.
Okay.
God.
So, I guess if Tino, Dave, and Vicky went, I'm going to go now and take my shot at telling Steve some stories about the holidays that'll get him in the spirit. I'm going to follow kind of the Ghost of Christmas model, though. So I'm going to tell a story from the past, a story from the present, and a story from the future.
Oh, no.
So a story from the past.
I gotta go.
When I was in 6th grade, I remember I had this teacher, Mrs. Donahue. She was Jewish. But I remember she actually brought in stuff to celebrate Hanukkah and Passover that year, and that was kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
When we were celebrating Hanukkah, she put up 2 things. She put up a Christmas board because she knew that we went to a Catholic grade school. So she put up the Christmas board, but then she said, "Hey, I'm going to put up a Hanukkah board too, so decorate it. Put some stuff on there." And some people, just did like the normal things like, oh, we're going to like make a Santa and put it on the Christmas board, make a menorah and put it on the Hanukkah board. Some people got creative and they put like Santa Claus holding the menorah and they put that on the Hanukkah board, and some put that on the Christmas. So it's okay. That's fine. One kid got expelled because he made Santa Claus look like he was on the wrong side of World War demonetization.
Oh no!
And he hung it on the Hanukkah board, and he got caught doing it.
Oh no!
That kid was not me. I can assure you that.
I think that was the next
actually finished all
question.
the years.
Yeah.
Oh no!
So that was a story from the past.
Okay.
Sometimes you
Teacher
gotta
was like,
keep
I
it,
said
baby.
the guy in the red suit, not the guy with the red flag.
So
Damn!
is
Not the dude with the red armband.
Oh
so
my
is
god.
it's a story from Christmas present about Barco?
No, it's actually. So I have a story. I went Christmas shopping this past Saturday, and there was a series of events from when I left my house to when I got home.
Were they unfortunate?
They might be. So basically, at one point, I go to the local mall, the Franklin Mills Mall, which I know some people will say, it's the Philadelphia Mills. Shut up,
Those
it's
people
Franklin
can fuck
Mills.
themselves.
No,
at Franklin
exactly.
Mills.
Okay,
Always be the
slight
Franklin
aside,
Mills.
I used to work in fucking retail real estate, and I know the company that tried that to pull that shit, and even internally, they don't call it Philadelphia Mills.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's fucking Franklin Mills, and everybody can go to hell.
pretty
It'll
much.
always be Franklin Mills.
So I went to Franklin Mills because it's the closest mall, and the store that I wanted to go to, because that's where I was going to get a bulk of myself, Yankee Candle, was just, it's permanently closed there. So I'm like, crap. So I
Go
found
to
one.
Chamonix.
Well, no, they had one at Willow Grove Mall.
Oh, okay.
So I went
No.
there. Now, Willow Grove Mall was strange because I get there, and when I first get there, so you guys know the parking lot trick around the holiday season, right?
Do enlighten us.
You mean like park across the street?
No, so, all right, if you have to go to the mall, and you know how it's like impossible to find parking? You don't circle around the parking lot. Do is you pull in and you kind of idle near like one of the mall entrances until someone leaves with bags.
You camp.
Yeah, and then you follow them to their car, and as they're getting there, you say, "Hey, can I take your spot?" Yeah, sure, go ahead. Like no one ever says no.
He's a
Yeah.
camper.
You just, this 6'2" man follows some woman. Hey, can I take your spot?
No, literally, you're in your car when
Yeah,
you
no,
do it.
you pull her
Oh,
into
that
the
makes
back.
it better.
That's Tino. It's even worse.
Exactly.
Yeah, Tino, it's even worse. Yeah.
So as I was driving, like, and I did and granted, you could always circle the lot first, just do a quick loop around to see if there's any spots. If not, then you do this trick. Well, as I was circling the lot, there was a guy who had his car running, but like parked. The driver's side door was open. He was shirtless. His shirt was ripped into shreds on the ground, and he was on his knees screaming about how he couldn't get a parking spot.
In December?
Yes. Let this set the tone. So I go into the Willow Grove Mall, and I go in, and I'm trying to find where the Yankee Candle is, and the entrance I get in, I'm on the third floor, and I get in on the third floor, and the Yankee Candle's on the first floor. I go down to the first floor, and I go into the Yankee Candle. There are 3 obese women fighting each other because they all want the Christmas cookie scented candle. And there's like a few that have been knocked on the floor and shattered. I see this going on. I grab one of the canvas bags they have there, and I just decide I'm going to just start like getting candles. So I'm like taking candles, and I'm like picking them up and lifting the lid and sniffing to see if it's any good. And then if it is, I put the lid back on, put it in my bag. At one point, as I'm doing this, I notice that the light is being blocked. And I look to my left, and 2 of these women are strangling each other right near me. And I'm just thinking, if one of them falls over in my direction, I'm dead. So they're literally fighting. I make my way around to like the cashier as this is going on, and I buy my stuff and I leave. Now I happen to buy 1 or 2 of the Christmas cookie candles that were there. And as I'm leaving the store, I hear one of them say, "Who took the Christmas cookie candles?" And I'm just like, oh boy. So I like
Run.
I run out of there and I get on the escalator and I look as I get on the escalator. I look back and there's like 5 mall security running towards the Yankee Candle. I had to run. So I went there and then I realized that I left the Franklin Mills Mall too soon. So I had to go back and run another errand at like the Sam's Club there. And as I'm leaving, now Vicky is familiar with this area. Vicky, you know how there's like one of the SEPTA buses that like drives past the Franklin Mills Mall?
Oh yeah, there's a couple that I've had the misfortune of taking. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm behind this one bus as I'm leaving like the Franklin Mills Mall area, and I notice that it's not on its normal route.
Oh God, is it the 67?
Well, hold on. So I'm like, huh, that's weird. And then I'm looking at this bus. There's no one on it. And I'm like, that's weird.
Does
So
that
then
include no driver?
No, what happens is I pull up next to it because I'm trying to get around it, and there's a driver, but he's in street clothes. So immediately I'm like, oh, this is a stolen bus. so the bus starts taking off, and I decide I'm going to pursue.
Oh gosh.
So now keep in mind,
Will,
when did
you're
you
an
start playing
ambulance
GTA?
Chaser. Will, you're an ambulance chaser, not a bus chaser.
My insurance company for car insurance is State Farm, and I have the drive safe thing that you put in your car, and you can't go above the speed limit.
Right.
So
I'm
you
gonna
don't get
get
the
ya.
discount.
I'm in pursuit of this bus, and I'm on a road. Now he's way off the route at this point, and I'm on a road that like is like definitely not part of this route. Like he's taking like back roads at this point.
Oh no.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, okay. So at one point he starts to speed up and he's going over the speed limit, and I'm sitting there like I could only go 25 miles an hour, but in order to deliver justice, I must sacrifice my discount. With great power comes great responsibility. So I start going at like so I'm going 30 miles per hour, and it's like with this app it'll let you go like 5 miles over whatever the speed limit is and you still get your discount. And then he starts going faster, and I start debating, do I go above the 5 mile per hour buffer in order to deliver justice? And right as I'm deciding whether or not I should do this, I notice that he's pulling into a parking lot, which is the parking lot to one of those industrial garages. Turns out he was like a maintenance worker, and he was just taking the bus for a test.
Wow.
So I was a crime fighter for like 8 minutes while trying to not go over the speed limit, only to realize that I wasn't fighting crime. I was in fact being a douche.
Note to self: never go Christmas shopping with Will.
That dude saw you following him, and that's why he sped up, because he's like, oh god, this lunatic is tailing me. He's been tailing me for 10 minutes. Oh god, okay, just let me get to the garage. Please don't let him kill me.
Will is chaotic good. Will is chaotic good.
Yep. So that was my tale of Christmas present and my tale of Christmas future. Hey Steve, what are you doing this Saturday?
This Saturday, I'm having a Christmas party with the inner circle people.
Oh,
yeah.
And none of us are invited.
Why? What did you want to do?
I was gonna crash your house.
No, sorry.
I mean, if you're not invited, then it really is crashing.
Boo.
I mean, that would have been cool, but
Will almost crashed that damn car into that bus.
I'll be in North Jersey at my cousin's.
Oh, you're going to be in my fucking neck of the woods, which is ironic, because I'll be down in Philly.
Yeah, it's in Homedale, New Jersey. So.
Oh, you poor son of a bitch.
Why do you say that?
I'm going to crash your house on Sunday.
I mean, you can. I'll be here at back home at noon.
Yeah.
Steve's just gonna walk in. Will's just gonna be, sitting in his kitchen having drank all Steve's beer. Steve's gonna be like, "What the heck are you doing in my house? Get out of here!"
Carl, I will take that upon you and have some of your beer. Shane can't have any.
Hey, Will, what are you doing in my house? Now, hold on, Steve. Now let's all calm down, take a deep breath, and Let's go get me those pretzels.
Guess where the pretzels are? Think we got a vibe inside my gun.
Oh, hey now. Where did that come from?
Okay. On a related note, since we're making Aqua Teen references,
Yes.
what is everyone's favorite Christmas movie? And you have to pick one.
Ooh.
Home Alone. Home Alone 1.
Solid choice.
Home Alone
That
2.
is my final answer. Wait, especially the Donald Trump scene.
Yeah, because
Which now doesn't get shown anymore on TV.
no,
really?
it got shown. So I went to the dentist last night after I got home from work, and they had like a Christmas movie marathon playing on one of the stations, and they had the scene where Donald Trump helps Kevin McAllister get to the lobby.
So you know that.
Nice.
So just so you know, that story was actually false because what actually happened was that's just where the station bumper ended up.
What do you mean?
Oh.
Like there's like they always at random like if the like they have predetermined in their schedule when freaking commercials are going to come up, and that's just when the runtime of the movie lined up for that particular channel.
Yeah. Certain movies, they'll have to cut parts of it out in order to actually be able to fit the movie into a programming schedule.
But sometimes they're even lazier
that
than
makes
that.
sense.
Sometimes they're even lazier than that, and they just don't actually cut the movie. They just leave it running in the background while they switch to a different feed.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense.
I just love.
All right, so Dave, what's your favorite Christmas movie? Don't say Die Hard. Not a Christmas.
Wow, we're sparking that debate.
I disagree, but we'll have that to fight later. I actually am honestly torn because there's a number of good ones.
What's your favorite Hanukkah movie?
Also,
Eight
there's
Crazy Nights.
What?
God no, fucking, I'd go for the Hebrew Hammer on that case. But for a Christmas movie, honestly, classic Miracle on 34th Street.
That's good. Good one. Vicky?
Batman Returns.
Batman Returns? Is that what you said?
Yes.
I love my girlfriend so goddamn much, you guys.
I'll give it a pass.
If you have to have an alternate, the He-Man and She-Ra Christmas special.
No, I'm fine with Batman
Okay,
Returns.
thank you.
That's good. All right, Tino, go ahead.
Okay, my favorite Christmas movie now is It's a Wonderful Life.
Ooh.
It used to be an obscure 80s movie called The Night They Saved Christmas.
Ooh.
And that was mainly just because I grew up watching it. It's a very, very weird movie. Like the basic premise is there's a guy, he has his family, they're above the Arctic Circle. He's working for an oil company. They're drilling for oil in the Arctic Circle. And then one night they are contacted by one of Santa's elves saying, hey, you need to stop blasting trying to free your drill bits because you're going to blow up the North Pole.
Hey, can you stop with your consumerism, please? I'm trying to make toys over here.
Wow.
That's pretty funny. You know, It's a Wonderful Life is one of my favorite movies ever. It's not my favorite Christmas movie though, but I will say that it is a absolutely stellar film.
Yeah, and it always grows on me more and more with each passing year and becomes more and more relatable. So
Yeah.
I would say that, anybody who is feeling down or depressed or alone during the holidays should give that film a watch because it's an amazingly complex and meaningful film. That
it's
gets
super
better.
bleak for most of the movie.
Yeah, but it's nevertheless,
but it's for a good reason. It's for good reason.
Yeah, it's for a good reason. I would say, give it a rewatch if you've already seen it because at least for me, it becomes more meaningful every time I watch it.
Yeah.
I will add. Oh, sorry. I do want to add. Go ahead, sweetheart. No, go, sweetheart. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I agree with Will and Steve. Though I also love I also do love Home Alone, but Tino's right. Like this, I've only seen his film like once, maybe like twice, but my brothers had basically like all the same things that you said about that, and I agree. Like it's it kind of does cause some introspection.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it goes
I
into
think
some
it's
pretty
a
complex topics.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah, it's especially a great film for anybody who either feels like a failure or feels like they haven't been able to live up to their own dreams.
Oh, so me.
And the cinematography for the time was like really, really nice.
Oh, listen, it's a masterpiece.
It holds up. It holds up. I actually
It does.
like. I watched it with my parents the one year, and they insisted on watching it in color, and I was like, no. What's wrong with you? You have to watch it in black and white.
Yeah, that's the only way to watch that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was shot in
Black
black and white. In black and white. The color is a lie.
So
on
the topic of Christmas films.
before that, I do want to just throw two more things into the ring.
Sure.
Actually, shit, I forgot the second one. The first one is Love Actually. Love Actually is not a bad movie. That's
I've never seen Love
Never
Actually.
seen it.
So
it is, however, aggressively British. So make of that what you will.
I'll make a lot of that.
And
Go-
Muppets.
Oh, and that was the second thing I was bringing out is like, there's too many film adaptations to count, but I have a soft spot in my heart for A Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
Especially any version that's staged.
And the
Yeah.
Muppets. And the Muppets.
The Muppets
And the
always made it
Muppets.
better.
And the Muppets, yeah.
So as far as Christmas movies go, I have a few that you may or may not have heard of, and I want to just throw into the mix if you want to really have a spicy holiday season.
I can
Oh,
hear your
Lord.
mouse clicking, Will.
Are you talking about the Polar Express where
No.
they do train drifting on the ice?
No, I'm fine with
Deja
that.
vu.
I have been in this place before.
That's that's a runner-up to what I have in mind. So the movies I want to recommend to anyone watching are Santa Claus Conquers the Martians,
Haha, what?
Yes, I know where he's going with this.
Jack Frost 2: Revenge of the Mutant Killer Snowman,
Oh God, no, no. There's a
Silent
second
Night,
one?
Deadly Night. Yes, there was. And Elf Bowling the Movie, The Great North Pole Elf Strike.
What?
Wow.
And
I thought Elf Bowling was a Flash game from 2001.
yeah, they turned it into a movie 7 years later. So
Okay,
I love how,
guys,
casually you mentioned
guys,
that.
we need to turn this into a reaction channel, and we need to watch all these movies.
I'm fine with this.
No.
Also, while not technically a Christmas film, something that my family would watch every year and still does when we get together, the old Laurel and Hardy movie, Babes in Toyland. It's a Christmas tradition to watch that. I think the reason why it comes on this time of year is because I think the initial plot of it is at one point Santa goes to the toy shop where Laurel and Hardy work, and he ordered like a bunch of wooden soldiers.
Mhm.
I think the alternate title for this movie is March of the Wooden Soldiers. So Santa Claus had ordered 600 1-foot-tall wooden soldiers. Laurel and Hardy screw up by making 100 6-foot-tall wooden soldiers, which comes into a plot point later on in the movie.
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. What did I just bring to life?
What do you mean?
That's what I'm imagining the plot of the movie is which is honestly the premise of a D&D campaign, which is the powerful wizard Santa Claus asks the party an important question, having just fulfilled this what seemed to be a quick job.
Just
What
sounds
did I
like
just
it just sounds like a Christmas version of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
I mean,
No.
at what
What have I done?
well, it's Santa Claus shows up, asks for like 600 wooden soldiers, gets 100 really tall ones instead. At one point, all the nursery rhymes are doing their thing. Mr. Barnaby is a mortgage lender, and he's evil, and he brings the boogeymen to Toyland. They turn on the wooden soldiers, and the wooden soldiers actually have a big war across Toyland, which somehow involves a rat driving a blimp and throwing poppers down on everyone's heads.
Yo, can we make this into a JRPG?
This is like the Nightmare Before Christmas meets acid.
Look. Yes.
Do you guys want to have a Christmas movie marathon at some point?
Yeah, I want to see this. This sounds... Vicky's right. This sounds like a JRPG plot.
Yeah. You know, I have a recommendation that's not a movie, but a song. The Night Santa Went Crazy by Weird Al.
Yes.
That song is awesome and has a music video.
Yeah.
Which I will link in our general chat.
Have
for
you-
you to
All
enjoy
right.
later.
Have you guys ever listened to the Twisted Christmas album?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. Okay.
It is.
Yes.
It is wild.
It has brought me a lot of joy.
Yeah.
It was actually burned for me on a CD by someone, so I don't even know if it's the official stuff. I think there's some stuff on my copy that's like not actually from the album, but like I just to be a jerk, I started playing it in the car with the person who loved Christmas, and she started laughing so hard during Porky Pig's rendition of Blue Christmas that I thought that she was going to fall out of the car.
Nice. I had
So-
two holiday albums.
Without you.
Wow, he's really nailing that voice, Tino. That's great.
He is.
I
That's
had
because
So-
I listened to it so much since 7th grade.
So as a slight follow-up.
Vicky wants to say something.
Oh, I'm sorry, my bad.
It's cool, man. It was dumb anyway. I had exactly 2 holiday CDs as a kid, and by kid I mean like up to age 13. I had the I forget what it's called, but it was just like a Holiday Cats album, and it was just like holiday songs, but with like meows, so it kind of sounded like a cat being hit like a xylophone.
Oh my god.
Oh
Like,
man.
and
Meow,
that was,
meow, 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 meow.
yeah, actually, you're not wrong. That's exactly it. And the other one was the South Park Christmas album
Oh no.
Oh.
with Mr. Hanky the Christmas Pooh.
Oh, no.
yeah. No, I heard that CD before.
Oh, Tannenbaum. Oh, Tannenbaum.
And I'm just like over here as a 13, like, yeah, I'm cooler than the other 13-year-olds. And then 2 years later, the fist fight. But anyway,
So,
Outside the church in suburban Delaware.
yes.
this one was not a church. This was a
And
playground.
Newcastle.
It was a playground.
No, that's
With
a
my
different.
Walkman.
We've already had the discussion of the lore of that fist fight.
Okay, the
Oh
other
my
fist
God.
fight, I was 10. It was in New Jersey, and I was in a cute little Sunday dress, and I was just walloping this fucking kid because he tried to take my purse. Fuck him.
Oh
Yeah.
man, that was a very New Jersey story.
Yeah.
I was like 9.
Yeah.
Why was I always
Oh.
getting in fist fights?
I feel like
Will, do
sometimes
your thing.
I feel like sometimes children are just meant there to be like little mini Fight Club for the rest of us.
Yeah.
Remember, kids, if you can't open the bottles in your parents' medicine cabinet, you have to push the lid down before you twist.
Yeah. 1 down, 2 to go.
Just get some fucking hammer and just go nuts.
That's also like the 4th time in this season I've made that joke. So,
You know, if anybody cancels us, it's going to be the Center for Poison Control.
Honestly, that makes sense because, as a slight aside, I remember this one time as a kid, and again, this was in New Jersey. I thought I was being slick. I was like 7 years old. My dad was trying to get me to take these little vitamin C vitamins, and they were like these little candy hearts. They were adorable. So I ate a couple. I'm like, oh, these are tasty. And he's like, now don't have any more. And I, being the little bastard I was, I'm like, I'm going to eat all of them and then share them with the neighborhood kids. So me and a bunch of kids are just popping vitamin C's, and my dad is looking at me like,
Ooh.
shit.
And before we knew it, she started singing "As We Go On."
oh
we
god,
remember.
no, I hate that song.
So
The hell with you.
So Vicky, are you originally from New Jersey?
Fuck no. I am from South Philly.
You're from South Philly. Okay,
Now-
so but it sounds like a lot of your stories are from New Jersey. Did
Yes.
you have like relatives here?
So my dad
She
was,
just starts stuff every time she leaves the state.
Pretty
Yeah,
much.
'cause
I
it just sounds like you're very much if you told me that you were from New Jersey, then that makes all the sense in the world based on all the stories you've been saying over the years.
I was a violent child.
I'm like, now it's all coming together.
See,
But no. But
Wait,
no,
wait,
I'm
I used to be confused. I'm like, what is Vicky's deal? But if I heard that you were from New Jersey, I'm like, there it is.
No, no, no.
when
I was,
Vicky leaves PA, she comes in like a wrecking ball.
Yeah, you
really,
do.
you're bringing Miley Cyrus into this.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
Yeah, you kind of have to.
You know, my father was not a good man, and him and my mom did not live together. So he basically mooched off of any chick he could land, and that includes the flautist from the orchestra. And yeah, she happened to live in Jersey. We lived in Jersey a good time, so with parental visitation, I came from Philly, went to Jersey, bounced back and forth every other weekend. And yeah, now I just picked up the traits, 2 different types of violence from 2 different types of states. So
I get
multi-classing.
There you go.
I get the rage now.
Yeah.
you got that Philly rage plus the New Jersey angst.
Yeah,
you know?
she's min-maxing her emotions.
Yeah, it really is. She really is.
Plus the Delaware sense of purposelessness.
So she's moving in with me up in North Jersey. What's it gonna do to her?
What's it gonna do to you?
I think the question is really what is she gonna do to you?
Yeah, I think once Vicky moves in with Dave, 3 weeks later we'll have our next episode of this podcast, and we'll be down to just 4 hosts again. Dave will be gone.
Dave is no longer with us.
Yeah,
so we're continuing on with Vicky.
Yeah, Dave, and unlike Steve, Dave did not
disguises herself. She's wearing Dave's goatee. Be like, no, I'm Dave. I'm Dave.
Unlike Steve, Dave did not drown under his bed in his own urine. Instead, the body's gone missing, and we cannot find it.
Which would be impressive considering that I am a large individual and hard to miss.
Yes.
Well,
not if you get rear windowed.
Oh.
Ooh.
Uh-oh. Jesus. We're getting dark here.
Are there any Hitchcock Christmas movies?
If you're brave enough.
Well, if you want to get dark with Christmas movies, I got 3 for you.
Krampus.
So there's 3 you could watch, which will really bring you down this holiday season. The first one is Santa with Muscles, starring Hulk Hogan.
Oh gosh, Nostalgia Critic reviewed that one.
The second one is A Karate Christmas Miracle, actually starring Martin Kove, who played John Kreese in The Karate Kid and has reprised the role for Cobra Kai. And my personal favorite, Jingle All the Way 2, starring Larry the Cable Guy.
Oh no!
I will say this: I loved Jingle All the Way.
That was real.
I loved Jingle All the Way. It used to be my favorite Christmas movie, and then I really thought about it. I'm like, no, Batman.
Those are my cookies.
Well, Jingle All the Way is just a gross introspection into American consumerism.
Exactly.
You know? And it's just like really depressing to watch, you know.
Will you stop?
Like remember when Sinbad and Arnold are having that like moment at the bar or whatever? They're drinking and they're like, I'm just doing something for my son, blah blah blah. And they're like, truce. But then Sinbad's like, "Fuck you, dude! I need that fucking doll." I'm like, "Ooh, jeez."
I love how Steve's trying to look into like the hidden themes of this. Like he's a high school English teacher who's going to tell me why I didn't get an A on my paper.
So no Krampus. Nobody's bringing up Krampus.
You'll
that
notice
was a
that
funny
the sound
movie.
absorption tiles are blue, and that represents my inner state of dissatisfaction with American consumerism.
Yes, well, you are holding Caulfield.
Well, you know what the most surprising thing about Jingle All the Way was?
A good one.
The kid is the guy from episode 1. He's Anakin.
Wait a minute.
No.
Wait, Jake Lloyd, isn't it?
No.
He's young Anakin. Yeah.
That's why he quit acting. It wasn't because of episode. It wasn't because of Star Wars.
Jingle All the Way. Yep, it all comes.
He wasn't it.
Yep.
I think
it's super obvious too. If you go back and watch that movie, it's so like you can tell from the way he talks and stuff.
I heard he was a little shit.
The real reason Anakin turned to the dark side is because he was cast in Jingle All the Way too.
And he never got.
Wouldn't you?
The Sinbad.
Wouldn't you?
No.
I heard.
So I think that's a good.
Shit.
I think with that disturbing note in our viewers' minds running wild.
That means that Anakin was the most powerful Jedi because his dad was Turbo Man.
True. Yeah.
So that was his father. Okay.
Guys.
And that's why after he got Anakin's mom pregnant, he just used his jetpack to fly off the planet, and no one ever heard from him again.
He's worse than Boba Fett.
It makes sense.
Oh.
God. Okay, I think that's where we need to call it. That's a good place to call
Yeah,
it.
we're done.
All right,
It's
so
over now.
wait, hold on. Before are we sure we're done? And don't lie to me or I'll know. Ha, I stole the line back, fucker.
Screw Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
Screw Kingdom Hearts and
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts fucking blows.
yeah. But as a quick thing in review, whatever holiday you celebrate, whether it be Hanukkah, Christmas, Kwanzaa, I hope you had a great one. We all do.
Not after watching this.
Thank you. Yes, probably not.
Yeah, we're sorry, but not really.
No, we're not.
Thank you for
In fact, you're welcome.
wow. All right, Dave, get bold.
Presumptuous.
Enjoy your Christmas present.
You
Merry
dirty
Christmas,
animal.
you filthy animal.
Thank you to everyone.
Wait, no. In honor of my Philadelphia friends, Merry Christmas, shitters full.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Nice.
Merry Christmas. Throw stuff at Santa Claus like batteries. That's what Philly does. Thank you to everyone who stuck around with season 1 of the Game Room podcast,
Which managed to last more than a year somehow.
Yes, stay tuned for season 2, which will be coming in January. And until we see you all again, have a happy New Year, everyone. And does anyone else have any other warm seasons greetings we want to throw in before we ask Steve if we manage to break him out of his holiday slump?
Yeah, don't fuck this one up, people. Just saying.
Steve, are you more in the holiday spirit now?
Not really. I feel worse, actually.
Then we have achieved our goal.
Yeah, you know what? Be miserable, you son of a bitch. Bye, everyone!
Happy holidays, everybody.
Should old acquaintance be forgot?